Just letting everybody get logged on. If you guys have a question, unmute yourself, ask me. I'd be more than happy to answer it. Today, I am dealing with the remnants of Hurricane Ida. It is officially in my neighborhood, or what's left of Hurricane Ida is in my neighborhood, I guess I should say, because it's not really much of a hurricane at this point. It's just a storm. Okay, letting everybody in. Does anybody have questions? I know that we're starting to see the money coming in, so yay. And for those of us that haven't applied, go apply. For those of us in LA RSO, today is September 1st, and the first day they're reopening the assistance program. So if you need money, please go apply today. Today is your magic day to apply. If you were in the city of Los Angeles and they were out of money, they got new funding today. They're taking applications again starting today. So go after the money. It's the best way to get money is to go after the government program. What they're offering us for small claims at a later date, quite frankly, sucks. And I could go into great detail as to why it sucks, but the reality is the government program, the government bailout, whatever they want to call it, tenant assistance, that's the best program that's available to us right now. Honestly, the 80-20 sucks because at any time they could file bankruptcy and then the 80% is completely gone. So the government bailout is the best chance we have at recuperating our funds. Everybody hear that, I hope? Everybody? Does anybody have any questions? Wanted to talk to you guys a bit more about litigation. We are seeing some things happen. I'm sure that you saw that the federal lawsuit was one that the CDC cannot pass a governmental order regarding evictions, that they were outside of their bracket, so to speak. We can evict right now. We just need a reason. Non-payment of rent works as long as you can prove that you've applied for the government money. If they haven't applied, that's what you need. My theory, you guys, is simple. If you can stay out of legal process right now, do it. Not all of us are in a position where we can. Some of us are forced to participate in the legal process. If you're forced to participate in the legal process, then do that. I'm not saying don't. I just see it as another pitfall. But if it's the only pitfall you got, then it's the pitfall you got. Currently had a tenant that was suing a landlord after possession and still trying to sue them to get possession back, even though the lockout happened, because there's no case law. Now that the CDC's no eviction moratorium has been eradicated, they might not have a leg to stand on, and they may not be able to continue to fight this landlord from outside of his property. What am I saying? A landlord got possession of a unit in an eviction. They got possession. They did the lockout, and the tenant's still trying to get back into the property and sue the landlord because there's no case law regarding COVID. So everything is arguable. And when I say that, please know that 98% of all cases filed in the state of California are being litigated. And 92% of cases are being settled. If they're going to settlement anyway, why not do that at hello instead of waiting until you've spent all your resources and then negotiating? It doesn't make sense. Negotiate now, save your resources. Just saying. We don't want to wait till cash for keys shouldn't be our Hail Mary play. Taking them through the legal process should be our Hail Mary play. I'll get that out. Exciting day for me, I guess. Well, I was all excited. Hurricane Ida's coming right for me. It's drizzling, wind's not blowing, and I'm just fine. I don't know what I expected. Anybody have any questions? Pete, if you're on here, you sent me a list of questions. They're quite extensive. So I will email you back my list of answers for those questions rather than discuss them all in here. I don't want to bore my people. I want to keep them current with things that affect them. Not that your things aren't, but a lot of people that are joining us today are not in the city of LA RSO or within the city of Los Angeles, I guess I should say. So I don't want to bore everyone. And hold on, we got an additional visitor. An additional visitor came in August and is still there. LA RSO area. What are my options to keep paying tenant? Tell me you love me. Because of COVID, the unauthorized occupants are protected until the end of the protected pandemic period. Paying attention? So come October 1st, because you're in the city of LA, you're gonna probably most likely gonna have to wait a whole nother year. That's what those tenant protections are before you go after the unauthorized occupants. But the way I understand it, when the tenant protections end, so does their ability to bring unauthorized occupants into the property. So you can most likely to evict after that. I would talk to legal counsel whether you have to wait until October 1st of 2022 in order to do that. Ouch, I know, trust me. So in the county of Los Angeles, the county of San Diego, they have a moratorium in place that offers tenants additional, no worries, sorry, additional protections for 6 months. So that leaves us to April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day 2022 is the first time in LA County and San Diego County that we can proceed non-COVID and it not be considered retaliatory. City of LA has 12 months. Just so you know, that's the city of Los Angeles has 12 months of additional protections from the COVID pandemic. I don't know what their mayor was smoking when they came up with that one. Val, we have a tenant who has a nasty neighbor, drugs, vandalism, etc. We installed a motion detector light. Now we got a citation from the county regarding the light shining into the neighbor. Okay, we fixed the lights, but this is just a battle starting. The bad neighbors are throwing trash into my tenant's yard and even egged their house. My tenant just wants to move. There's nowhere to go and is scared to call the police. God love him. Even though our neighbor threatened to kick his husband's ass. I know some targets they can hold at the shooting range. It's ridiculous because they're not your tenants. You don't have a lot of control other than playing nice. Coming up with something that works. And I get that the tenant has nowhere to go. And who knows who poked who in the eye first. Or if they had a friendship that fell apart. We just don't know. Sometimes when they don't get along, it's the most aggravating for us as landlords because our hands are tied. I can't make my tenant get along with my neighbor. I cannot make that happen. I cannot do that. So try to be nice and understanding as much as possible. Personalities class, unfortunately, that's going to have to end in a divorce. Luckily, you're not in the middle of it. So if you have something else that becomes available, make sure that they're aware. Maybe you could just scoot them over to a different property that you own rather than lose them altogether. Just a thought. But yeah, we can't control what happens at a property that isn't ours. Now, let's talk. Because if they're a nuisance, If they're creating a disturbance, we can get code enforcement involved. We can get the police department involved, etc. But like you're saying, Val, they got lots more important things to do than keeping two neighbors from arguing. Leave my statement at that, but I get it. And you guys need to know, a lot of all this arguing crap is coming because of COVID. What did Pappy just say? People are arguing just because of COVID? Yes. People are arguing, I don't want to take the vaccination. It's my body, my choice. Blah, 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 blah. They got vaccinated. They're just arguing their point. See, my opinion is people aren't working right now because they're getting paid by the government to stay home. A lot of people are, okay? They got nothing to do, so they're trying to find something to do. Make sense? I'm trying to not let my personal opinion come into play here. It will be very interesting in the very near future to see what happens with our legislation, both on a state level and on a federal level. You know, it's kind of like when we're back in kickball, okay? You got that one kid that just keeps kicking the ball right in your face and right in your face and right in your face and right in your face. And sooner or later, you're going to get your turn with that ball and you're going to kick it back. And you're going to aim right for his face. What do I mean by that? They can't keep pushing our buttons as Americans. They can't keep building us up for success and then setting us up for failure. It's not going to be taken lightly. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Afghanistan. I think that could have been handled in a much better way. For those of us that are non-military, we even know civilians first, equipment second, soldiers last. And I'm a blonde and I could figure that out. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason to some of the things that are going on. And it all has to do with bureaucracy and bullshit, I'm sure. What are they causing all this attention over here for? And why are they trying to keep our focus over here so we don't look over there? Okay, that's how I see it. I am literally disgusted with how our leaders handled the exit of Afghanistan. It looks like we lost. We left our stuff there. I know that's not the case. We gave it to the Afghanistan army. I get it, but whoo-wee. Next election will be very interesting. And they left the service dogs. They did, didn't they, Val? They left all those service dogs in their kennels. For anybody that's a pet owner, I'll tell you this. They would have had to have been given an order for me to leave my dog there. And at that point, I might have been arrested for failure to follow orders. Because I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. I hope somebody gets those pups and brings them home and finds them with their humans. You know, we saw the truckers standing up for taking a vaccination, and people ask me, well, are you going to talk about vaccinations on your website? Are you going to tell us what your thoughts and feelings are? What I'm going to say about vaccinations. I was fully vaccinated for school. I went through that to go through the schooling process. You know, we're at a point in the world where a lot of things that we've felt very certain in our lives have become very uncertain. We're holding a lot of doubt, some disgust towards our leaders, I'm sure, on how things have been handled, not just with Afghanistan, but with everything in general, considering COVID and how landlords have been treated. And I don't know how much longer this can continue to keep going on the way that it's carrying on. I know that those of you that watch the market know that the market has hit a plateau, if you will. We're not seeing people pay more than asking price. We're not seeing people give cash back at the close of escrow. We're not seeing that. It's now kind of, I'm not saying it's dying off. I'm not saying prices are coming down. They are holding, but we're not seeing the big push. So things are definitely changing. Hello, Patty. What type of class do you need in order to obtain a fair housing certification? You need a fair housing course. You should take, as a property manager, I try to take at least 8 hours of fair housing twice a year, but that's me. I know that our company tried to do 4 hours of fair housing once annually, and that's probably sufficient. The only time you really need a certificate is if you're being sued, just to prove that you've had that training. Just saying. But yeah, and your apartment association should be doing fair housing trainings. Fair housing month is in April, just so that you're aware. Fair housing, very, very important thing that you completely understand about our business, so that you're not making yourself susceptible to unnecessary litigation, liability, and exposure. I could sum fair housing up simply and quickly for you. Don't discriminate against any other human being for any reason whatsoever. Period. End of report. That's fair housing in a nutshell. Treat people like you would want to be treated. Don't discriminate. How come those people live here? You let those people live here? Why did those people get to live here? Because everyone that lives here is qualified to do so. We provide equal opportunity housing. Fair housing's fair housing. I call it plastic face because you got to be plastic. No emotion whatsoever. I know that you don't discriminate, Veronica. I was just talking out loud, girly. But fair housing has so many protected classes now, and people do discriminate themselves. Hell yes, girl. Yes, they do. What I mean is military is a protected class. Seniors are a protected class. Children are a protected class. Immigrational status, protected class. Marital status, protected class. Sexual orientation, protected class. So when you get through it, that's when I say, just don't discriminate against any other human being for any reason whatsoever. That's fair housing in a nutshell. They want to say it's because we discriminate against people that can't pay rent. I like that. I really like that. You get a gold star today, dude. That was a good one. Okay, hold on. Let me see this. This is funny. My application for rent relief disappeared from the Neighborly website. The case manager has not responded for almost a month. I've been told that the applications were dumped and that I need to reapply. 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 Val, yes. When applying the new COVID funds today for 2 tenants that are behind in a 1 month, 2 tenants are only 1 month behind. My question is it 2 separate residents or is it a husband and wife? Because I would do it by residents, not by tenants. Should I apply today for 2 months each since they've not paid September yet? They're automatically going to pay you through the end of September. if you apply for the funds, just so you know. Okay, 2 separate homes. Yeah, 2 applications then for you because it's 2 separate tenants. So fair housing, just so you guys know, I get recertified every year. Most professional property managers do. Just to say that they're aware of what the rules are. Fair housing's no joke. If you do something that makes you guilty of a fair housing violation or guilty of discrimination and it can't be settled in the first 12 months, it goes to a HUD-1 case, which is Housing and Urban Development. So basically the Department of Fair Housing goes, here you go. Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze twice. Is it 3 sneezes are lucky? Come on, number 3. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I will, Melanie. Hang on. I might sneeze again. I am human. Hold on. Okay. I can't say it's the dirt. It's pouring rain where I'm at. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat that about applying for 2 separate tenants with the same apartment unit, 2 applications? What do we declare as the rent mode equals full amount of each? Exactly. Treat each unit number as a separate application. It has a different address. So if it's unit B, C, and D, you need to apply for B, C, and D. Got it? And I would say that you're on a month-to-month tenancy and they're automatically going to put in September's rent from you for you per what April's been telling us. Hold on, Melanie, you're saying something else. Oh, no, not roommates, not roommates. We're not talking about roommates. They get considered as one. Is there a certification you could obtain of just classes to take 8 hours? There's a certification you can obtain. I actually teach a fair housing course and can give a certification for that. It depends on what you're needing the certification for. Is this to show that you're annually fair housing? Are you trying to defend yourself in a lawsuit? Are you trying to limit your exposure and liability? Are you looking for a certificate or just saying that you completed a course? Help me understand exactly what you're looking for. Is there something in the rule books that says you must be certified in fair housing or have a current certification every 12 months? No, it's just a better business practice. Got it? I got you. You're just looking for a certificate. Check with your apartment association. I know AGLA does a lot of fair housing trainings, stuff like that. Most of the apartment associations is where you're going to get that certificate unless you go to a fair housing course directly. The rain's picking up. I know Riverside does theirs, and it's huge, huge. What Riverside offers, and they do an 8-hour training annually. They do it every year. I want to say they didn't do it last year because of COVID. In fact, I'm 99.9% sure they didn't do it because of COVID. But they have a beginner course, an advanced course, a master's course. They really dig deep into that fair housing annually there in Riverside. And if you live in LA, you can take fair housing in Riverside. It doesn't matter where you go. I just like the one in Riverside. It's an all-day event. Type in Google Riverside Fair Housing Council. They have vendors that come up for the day. They serve a nice lunch. It's catered lunch. They have entertainment during the lunch hour. I want to say they have vendors that do raffles and prizes. They have different classes throughout the day, etc. It's a full day event. And Riverside's Inland Mediation and Fair Housing. No, that's San Bernardino County. Hold on. I'm going through my my brain. Inland Mediation and Fair Housing is San Bernardino County, not Riverside County. So don't do that one. Type in Riverside Department of Fair Housing and it should bring up all of that stuff regarding their annual fair housing courses that they do. And they're great. They're awesome. You guys make me want to stop and Google it right now to help you. That's where I go take mine. I know a couple of the advisors there. I know one of my good friends, and you guys may know her in the industry, Christy Kelly. She doesn't teach at the actual events. She covers their phones so their educators can teach the actual events. So I think that's cool. You know, at least somebody's answering the phone that day for those of us that need help. But yeah, I want to say Riverside puts a darn good program together. When I say that, I mean they put a darn good program together. They really go into depth and breadth to explain what fair housing is, why we have fair housing, and how you can be sued and how easy it is to say and do the wrong thing. The easiest way that I could tell you guys is treat other people like you want to be treated and don't discriminate against another human being for any reason, for anything whatsoever. Okay, Cliff just got on. We'll see if he has questions. I'm sure he does. Yeah, I want to say they do it in April because April's Fair Housing Month. And I really like their program. Craig is a great advisor there with Fair Housing for Riverside. Craig, yeah. And Miss Mays is out of the Riverside office, I believe. She does a great job. And if you've never talked to a fair housing advisor, I strongly suggest that you try it just once when you have a question. They're not all out to get you, okay? They're out to be a mediator, to be a neutral third party to mediate whatever issue is going on and why they got contacted in the first place. If you have a question, call them and ask them. They will help you. They're extremely helpful, and 99.9% of the time, they tell your tenants, pay the damn rent. Hold on, I see your question. I'm trying to pull it up. My finger just doesn't want to. Is there an online school that you can recommend for a real estate license? Yes, I use First Tuesday. Got that? First Tuesday. I mean, the reality is what they want you to learn to get your real estate exam is practical knowledge. It's not street smart. Make sense? You need to learn what they want you to learn out of those books to pass that exam. But once you get your license, what you learned is not what you will practice in the field. Make sense? Paying attention. As nicely as I could say this, pass your classes, but focus on studying for the state exam. That's where it matters. First Tuesday, absolutely. First Tuesday real estate school. You can do it all online. It's super easy. No problem. I studied with them to get my real estate license. Oh God, over a decade ago. And then I studied with them to get my broker's license. But like I said, what you learn in those books versus what you need to know in real life are two totally different things. You are taking a class that is passing their material they want you to know, but it is not practical knowledge you will use in day-to-day operations of real estate transactions or property management. I'm assuming you want to get your real estate license because you want to be more involved in property management. I'll tell you right now, on my real estate broker exam, there were 2 property management questions. 2 on my broker exam. On my salesperson exam, there wasn't even 1. It is all about appraisals and how to do them and how to break down an appraisal and how an appraisal works. It is about the legal aspects and what you can and can't do as an agent or as a broker. It is about the fundamentals, the knowledge. And please know, real estate agents have their own damn, hold on, and I'll think of the word. I'm having a blonde moment. They happen, I'm getting older. What are those things called? They have their own vocabulary, just like attorneys do. Okay? Like you'll learn about littoral rights, riparian rights, and things like that. And it all has to do with water, whether it's moving water or still water, like a lake or a pond, or like a river or a stream. Riparian rights. Yeah, and then you'll learn a lot about erosion and how a big storm comes through and it either adds to the land or it takes away from the land, depending. So you can acquire more property that way, or you can have property ripped away in a storm. Yeah. Real estate, fun. They have their own vocabulary, just like attorneys do. So very important that you learn the vocabulary. In fact, if you can learn the vocabulary, you'd probably be all right with the test. No joke. I want to say there's probably 150 definitions that you need to understand what they are and how they work. And one of the big things for me is there's no math on that test. So don't let math scare you. There's no math on the broker's exam. There's no math on the real estate exam. Don't worry about math, okay? It's all multiple choice, but they will try to trick you, okay? They will try to trick you. They'll ask you a question like, Sally owns a house and she holds title with her 3 children and has right of, she holds title a certain way. And this person sold their interest and these 2 people kept their interest and that person died. Now, who owns the property and how much of the property do they actually own? You got to know what happens and how it happens and who has right of survivorship and who doesn't. It's all very, very detail oriented. And the classes that you take don't help you answer the state exams questions. Does that make sense? What they want you to know to pass the exam is not what you need to know to do the business. Okay? I'm trying. A fair price to charge for cleaning after 1 year. Is there a fair price to charge for cleaning after 1 year of tenancy? Let's talk about why you're cleaning. Did they vacate the unit or are they still in the unit? Because if they're still in the unit and you need to clean the unit because they're not cleaning it properly, I'm going to tell you to call me and let's have a conversation about that because we want to make sure we're doing that properly. If they vacated the unit and you're cleaning the unit, it just depends on what extent you're needing to clean. If it's a quick sweep and mop, you may not even want to charge for that. If you're paying a cleaning company to go in there and actually do a deep clean or an extensive clean, it could be anywhere from $200 to $800, depending on how big the property is. Are you doing windows? Were the windows clean when they moved in, inside and out? Because all it has to do is rain once and the windows are dirty. So it just depends on what's on your move-in inspection because it pretty much needs to match that at the move out, aside from wear and tear, obviously. It is really starting to rain the Ida hurricane on me. The wind's picking up. I'm still not getting wet yet though, so we're good. But yes, I definitely am feeling a little bit more wind and more rain. God love Hurricane Ida. I'm getting the tail end of it though, so it's not too bad. Could have been much worse, I'm sure. All right, does anybody have anything for me? We're going to see a lot of things changing on the website here in a very, very rapid fashion with some educational videos going up and things of that nature, trying to get that done. I'm working really hard on the ones for new employees, trying to help you guys there. I realized that because of COVID, we weren't able to retain a lot of employees. And now we're trying to hire and retrain. And I'm here to help. So what I'm doing is a whole, so you think you want to be a property manager, huh? And hi, welcome to your first day on the job. Here's what you need to know before we throw you to the wolves. And yes, those are two topics. Do you think the moratorium will be extended 1 month to go? You want my honest opinion? I don't know what's going to happen with this Delta variant. Okay. I think if they extend the lockdown or re-lock us down again, my opinion is it's going to cause a civil war. There are those of us who have been affected by the lockdown and the pandemic in more ways than we can explain. There are those of us that have been severely affected by this whole pandemic. We haven't been able to do trade shows or training seminars in person. And that alone has caused quite a bit. But I mean, think about somebody that does other kinds of work. I mean, humanity as a whole is not going to tolerate a lockdown again or an extension of a lockdown. If they don't start freeing us, they told us all to get vaccinated. If we got vaccinated, then we could run free and we didn't have to wear masks. And now they're telling vaccinated people they need to wear masks. And that's not going over so great. We, the people, have been failed by our leadership. That's about all I'm going to say about that. We, the people, have been failed by our current leadership. That could apply to Afghanistan. That could apply to the pandemic. That could apply to a lot of things. Okay. I don't think humans in general are going to take being locked down again well. I do understand that this is real, that our hospitals are inundated, that people are dying from this. I do get that. I'm not arguing that one bit. But for those of us that locked down early, stayed locked down and did what we were told, and here we are might be locked down again, it's just not gonna sit well. And I'd love to tell you, I know exactly what's gonna happen, but here's the reality, you guys. And I'm being honest, my crystal ball is still broken. It doesn't work. I've tried. Show me. No, it doesn't work. I know I'm a goofball. Come on, you guys. Did you expect anything else from me? I manage investment property. I'm going to use vaccine needles as a weapon in this civil war. That was funny. I like that. This wouldn't be over if everybody got vaccinated. It would not be over if everyone got vaccinated. Oh, thank you, David. I carried it for years because people would say, hey, Patty, when am I going to be able to raise the rent? I don't know. Let me ask my crystal ball. I've been using this thing for almost 20 years now. And I just thought it was funny. One day I picked it up and thought, oh, that's funny. Next time somebody asks me, well, are they going to be good tenants? I don't know. Let me get my crystal ball out. We'll figure that out. So yeah, it's a joke. I know. I have a twisted sense of humor. but I do own investment property. Don't we all? I'm trying. You have a magic 8-ball. How's that work out, Val? I got a broken crystal ball. Recall Newsom. Hell yes. Everyone got that. Get Newsom out of there. He's connected with Pelosi. And I got a feeling no matter how we vote, they're still not going to get that little girl out of there. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't call Newsom a girl, but he does have childish tendencies. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Can you go over fair housing again? Who's required to get this training and who gives it? I give it. If people are professionally managing investment property, meaning they're a property manager every day and they go hit a time clock, your corporate office will have a company policy as to how often you need to have fair housing training. They usually require 8 hours of training once a year. Okay, sorry, 8 hours of training once a year, and that would be from your corporate office. If you're managing investment property, there's nothing to say that you need to be fair housing certified other than whoever signed your paycheck. So if your corporate office says you have to have fair housing training, you need to keep it current every year, then so be it, they'll do that. As far as mom and pop, you need to have an idea of fair housing. You need to understand how it works. You need to understand who the protected classes are. And I think I sum it up nicely when I say, don't discriminate against any human for any reason whatsoever, because that makes the most sense, right? But it all depends on who your corporation is, who you're working for, and what their requirements are as far as fair housing goes. So there's nothing set in stone that says a licensed property manager must have. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Now, licensing that you hold, like if you have your CCRM from the California Association, no, it's from the California Apartment Association. It's the Certified Residential Apartment Manager. So it's a CCRM from the CAA. They also include fair housing training in that certification. So if you go to be a licensed real estate agent, you're going to have to take fair housing training in order to pass the exam. Okay. But it's not something that it's required for mom and pop. Do I think you should take it at least once in your lifetime? Yes. You need to have an understanding of how fair housing works and how easy it is to get in a violation. How easy it is to discriminate without even thinking you're discriminating. You need to understand that so you don't make those costly mistakes. Fair housing is a huge part of our residential business that we do. Commercial managers, I wouldn't ever ask a commercial manager to ever take a fair housing class. Why? They don't provide housing and none of those rules apply to them. They can discriminate for any damn reason whatsoever. And then like it afterwards. Welcome to commercial versus residential. Okay, it's starting to get really windy here. I don't know if you guys can tell by the tree. Let me see. You can tell by the flag, I'm sure. I'll turn you this way for a bit. You can watch the rain with me. All right, anybody have any other questions? Because it's starting to get windy. Ida's showing up to the party. It's getting windy, folks. I asked my daughter, should I go somewhere special to do my seminar today, or should I just sit out and let it rain since we don't see the rain in California? I am in Pennsylvania, near Allentown, probably about a half hour away from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And this, what you are seeing is the leftovers from Hurricane Ida that hit Louisiana and then came up to Nashville and then headed out across the rest of the country and is now hitting me. Showed up about midnight. It's supposed to do this today and tomorrow. And then it'll be gone. And I love it right now because it's nice and chill. It's like maybe 65 degrees. Usually we get this rain and it's like 90. Yeah, I don't like the humidity at all. So it's nice today. It's about 65, I guess. 65, 66, windy, and it's raining. My bees don't like the rain. They still will fly in it. I had no idea bees flew in the rain. Okay, hold on. David's telling me something. Once I got sued by a tenant through fair housing just because I told them to get the kids play at the park because they were playing in the backyard, causing noise nuisancy in the case. Oh God, David, thank goodness the case was dismissed. You cannot use the word play. Children are a protected class. Seniors are a protected class. Everybody's a protected class. You can't tell. Think about it this way. If you say that children must be supervised at all times, legally and technically, a child is someone from birth to age 17, right? That means that if you have a 17-year-old currently in college that is that has already graduated high school, that you as a parent then have to walk them to and from their own vehicle when going through the common areas because they must be supervised at all times? Do you think you have that kind of power? Because you don't. We don't want to tell them where they can play and where they can't play. We don't want to describe them as children, just like we don't describe people as seniors. Okay? When we're dealing with something like that, what we would say is, I'm contacting you in regards to residents within your unit were seen throwing rocks in the pool. Residents from within your unit were seen throwing rocks in the pool. Residents from within your unit. Visitors from within your unit. We don't describe them as children. We don't describe them as seniors. We describe them as guests of residents from within your unit. Everybody got that? We don't talk about playing. Ever. I have words I say we don't ever use. One of them is play. I have a whole list of words I just say don't ever use them, but one of them is play. Yeah. Hi, Patty. Can someone that has, hold on, I gotta pull it up. Can someone that has moved out from the property, an old roommate, apply for the COVID rent relief program if the others in possession refuse to apply? They're all in the same lease. Yes, Val, the words start with an S. I love you. Okay. I get what you're asking me. One person's willing to apply for the government money and the other three aren't. Then talk to the one person that is. Get your money. Okay, my butt is now getting wet, you guys. You see that? It's getting windy. And it's raining. And I'm starting to get wet. Yes, I plan on being safe. No torrential downpours, nothing crazy going on. It is the first. For those of you that need money in the city of LA, you can reapply starting today. Funds should be back available. I don't know if they pulled them from somewhere, took them from another area. Quite frankly, I don't care. Today's the day LARSO and HDICLA have funds back in their account for the Tenant Protection Act. And I saw that, Val, hang on. And you need to apply for that money. Go get it. That is the best thing I could tell you. I'm doing fine. A crazy, horrible thing has happened with the puppy, Val. She has doubled in size in like 2 weeks. She just, dog's doing great. Thank you for asking. And I'll be here visiting a little bit longer, if I had to guess. Maybe another month or so. All right, you guys have a great week. If you need me, you know how to find me. And I will be back again next Wednesday. Please take note, HDIC LA is now offering money again. So you can apply for that money in Los Angeles in the event that you missed the first round of money. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Stay dry and stay away from hurricanes. Bye, everybody.